What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.com. And today we got an amazing guest of an app that I really, truly love. And I'm excited to explore more about this app because I've been trying to learn Spanish for the longest time and it's just never stuck. And so we're excited to have him on. He's grown to millions of downloads. He's going to break down these strategies. Spoiler alert, it's a little bit of YouTube that helped him reach all that. And all the product changes that he's made along the way to make it one of the most loved language learning apps in the market. So without further ado, let's bring in Mark Kaufmann. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hi, Steve. Thanks a lot for having me.
We got a new intro that I was surprised about. But Mark, so LingQ is the app, and I'm going to pull it up and share my screen so I can show off the app as well. But tell me about where it all started.
That is a long story. Started years ago. Yeah, my dad and I started the app together, and we had a. Well, my dad has always spoken a lot of languages. So he, since I can remember, spoke 9 languages and was actually learning a 10th, was learning Cantonese at the time, and was listening to the local Vancouver, I guess, Chinese radio station and heard about a immigrant who'd had his life savings stolen at the airport. And to make a long story short, ended up tracking this guy down, offering him a job because we had a company making software for the forest industry at the time, and hired this guy, discovered that he had a lot of language issues, and then sort of decided that there were a lot of people like him that needed help with language. And my dad had always felt that his approach to language learning was more effective than what you normally find. And so we ended up developing a tool to simulate how he'd always learned languages. In the end, we started out trying to teach English to this guy and subsequently to others, obviously. And then at some point pivoted to teaching all languages to globally effectively. So it's kind of we kind of fell into it in a way. We didn't have a deliberate strategy to go and do that, but that's kind of how it all got started, and that was quite a while ago.
What year was it? Do you remember?
Well, that was in the early 2000s, and so then for a while we had sort of web apps just teaching English, and then in 2008 we started Link and went multilingual, still web only, and then as mobile came along, then obviously pivoted into mobile, and that was all along our journey. We've been at it a long time, but all along our journey, this technology has kind of every advance in technology has kind of helped us make our app more efficient and worked in our favor in a way. Like mobile is massive for language learning apps because then you have it with you all the time. I mean, not just language learning, but that ability to, if you have 5 minutes in your day and you can do a bit of Spanish in your case, over time, that adds up.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, Mark, I want to say hi to a few people. Kevin is here. Good to see you. Joe, good to see you. David's here. I think he's from Nigeria. So David, look at that. Happy New Year. Seb's here as well. He's a big fan of the app. I told Seb that we're having you on. He was excited. Chelsea. Oh, no, this is Frank. Yeah, Frank, I got you. Beyond the Light as well. Hey, Mark, talk to me about the early days because, a lot of people can, this is the way I feel right now. And let me know if you feel differently. But I feel like it's so easy to build products, right? Everybody says, I've never come across any founder that says, my app is not the best. This is what I typically hear, Mark. Hey, this is better than anything else in the market. and just help me get users. And I'm always like, is it true? Like everybody thinks they have the best product, but getting traction and validating that you do indeed have the best product is so hard. So talk to me about how you got that early traction.
Yeah, and I think it's maybe easier now where people are much more conditioned to get on their devices and find apps and use apps to do whatever it is they're trying to do. If I think back to when we started, and as I said, we started on the web, and most people didn't think of going to the web to learn languages when we started. Like it was they didn't think of going to the web to do much, to be honest. And then you're trying to convince people to do stuff there and then to pay you there, which a lot of people didn't want to do. Like if we think back of the challenges that existed back then, obviously those aren't challenges now. Like everybody wants to be on their devices doing everything, and they're quite comfortable paying if they believe that your app can solve their problem. And so things that seemed like issues back when we started aren't issues now. But then there's far more competition now, and all kinds of other challenges that exist now. So it's one of the things about an app basically is that there's never a shortage of challenges to face. You're not cranking out bicycles in a bicycle factory. It's not the same thing every day. You're every day things are changing, new things come along, new problems, new innovations. So it's always interesting.
Okay. Well, let's get into this. I know you shared a presentation with us, and I want to talk about just the growth trajectory. So for those who are watching this is a chart of the actual users, Mark. Well, I won't put words in your mouth. But what are we looking at here?
Yeah, so this would be actual users. So initially, they're all web users. You can see that drop in the middle where we actually called a bunch of sort of dormant accounts for performance reasons. But effectively, you can see that for a long time, we did not have liftoff. But that, and a big part of our success, I would say, is just persistence, staying with it. It's not always sort of overnight success. And so sticking with it, working on things, improving things, technology moved in our direction. And you can see that over time we're significantly increasing our rate of growth over 6 million registrations. And a lot of those would be obviously through app downloads.
Yeah. Talk to me about sorry guys. Let me add this to the stage. I want this little red laser mark. I'm such a nerd. But anyways, like talk to me about this inflection point. Was this when mobile started growing? Like how were you able to get to that 2 million mark?
Yeah, that was in 2017, and I honestly don't even remember, but I know that we were having, there's all kinds of factors that impact whether how well your product's going to do, how sticky it's going to be, how long people are going to stay with it. And one of the issues we were having at that time was that things were getting slow. We had more activity on the server, and we realized that we can call a whole bunch of old accounts, dormant accounts, bunch of data, and the way we were set up at the time, that actually did to help us improve performance, which every improvement in performance, it just helps. It's just improves your uptake, your conversion rate. And so that was why that was done. And we probably removed, I don't know, 500,000 accounts or whatever it was. It was quite a large number of accounts at the time. And then, since, and I think that's just indicative. Mobile was probably came along at that time. And we were just improving, like as we had more customers, we had more revenue to invest, we did more things, we improved our act, we hired more people. It's all kind of part of that sequence, but no question that it's just, I guess, more than anything over time, just continually trying to be better, trying to do better, trying to improve performance, trying to improve functionality.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know one of the big channels was your dad, actually, who's also a co-founder. Like,
For sure. For
yeah.
sure. I think when we founded the company, he spoke 9 languages, which he kind of had always done. But then since then, I mean, he's using our app. He's up to 20 languages, I think, and has and effectively established himself as a thought leader in language learning space. He's the OG of online polyglots or YouTubers or people who speak a lot of languages talk about language. So he's here's an example of some of the types of things he talks about, and then I think there's another slide there which shows the progression of his channel in terms of it kind of bubble along. It's always slowly growing. It's a little hard to tell in this chart, but since he started the channel, you can see 181 million views, 4.4 million hours of watch time, 1.5 million subscribers. And the one, not only is it a great channel for us in terms of sending people to the app, but we know that anyone who arrives after watching my dad's videos, they're going to do better, right? They're pre-primed. They understand our methodology. They believe Steve's message. Therefore, they're going to invest more time in trying to understand the app and using the app. That they believe in the method, and effectively they're just going to do better. They're going to subscribe at a higher rate, and that's a big. It's not just a traffic source; it's also a source of very high qualified users.
Yeah, tell me about why YouTube, because I love that you said, "Hey, we launched this in early 2000." Like, literally, that's when I was in college back then, Mark, and so that's when the internet, like Google, was just becoming a thing. So that was super early. And I love this chart because it shows you that persistence like really pays off. Like, it wasn't until maybe, like, I'm gonna guess, like 9 years later that it just freaking took off like a rocket. So I love this. Keeps me motivated too. But like, why YouTube?
I mean, first off, at the time, there weren't that many other options, I guess. But I think it seemed like it was like the option. It was the growing option. I mean, he also had a blog, but over time, the YouTube channel has been far more effective. And I think maybe a bit of luck, and I think the fact that he was quite happy to get on there and start trying, and I'm sure if we look back at his first few videos, it'd be interesting actually. But and as you say, persistence of doing it week after week for however many years it's been. I think he likes it, and what's great, I mean, he's 80 years old now, and he's still filming his own videos, and
get out
dealing with our people that handle his files and whatever, but coming up with the concepts. Like it's every week putting out another video. So and loves it, and genuinely wants to share his thoughts on language learning and help people learn languages. And he's passionate. He loves learning languages. That's his thing, and that I think that passion comes through in his videos.
Yeah. I'm looking at his oldest videos, and you can just see some of the things are 18 years old, getting really good views, by the way, thousands of views. It's pretty insane. And then 17 years ago, LingQ.com English, and then he's starting to promote it. So what came first, Mark? Like, I'm assuming it's Steve's platform, Mark's dad, like, launch first, and so he was maybe getting some traction, and then you guys decided to build the product?
No, I think no, that I'm trying to remember. It's all
All right, I'll talk about today and last month, Mark. We'll get into that.
But no, I mean, we started with trying to teach English actually in the early 2000s, and then in 2008 when launched, if 2010 we started the YouTube channel, yeah, that makes sense. We're trying to figure out how do we get this out there. It wasn't that easy to get your message out. Then you're hoping SEO is going to help get you found. He, as I said, he had a blog, but you still are relying on Google to think you're worth promoting. And we never did raise a bunch of money to be able to go promote aggressively, and so we're trying to get found. And it wasn't that easy. It's not that easy. And so this started the YouTube channel, and just grew it over time. And even though in the early days it wasn't getting that many views, it was still some views. It was it's
I have the early videos. It's really good. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Look at this.
So it's been a lot of years.
I know, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, that's the one thing I like about YouTube. Like it's just like going down memory lane. Like, oh my God, I look like that and I sounded like that. That's insane.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, let's talk about more recent stuff that's been happening, the upgrade rate. And so we're always fascinated about how many people actually end up paying us. Talk to me about this chart a little bit.
Yeah, I think this I was looking at different metrics that I could find to share here, and this is one that you're always doing things to improve the app. Like we focused a lot on product led growth, right? So what can we do to improve the app? And our core of our methodology is effectively learning from content of interest or content that you love. Like if you're interested, your brain needs a lot of exposure. So we're quite a bit different than say a Duolingo or Babbel, where they're giving you little bits of a language and you're trying to remember them and spit them back out. Ours is more like, no, we think actually if you want to be effective and really learn a language, you need a lot of input in your target language, a lot of reading, a lot of listening.
Yes.
But the only way you're going to really do that is if you're interested in what you're reading and listening. Otherwise, you're going to lose interest and disappear long before you achieve results. So as we've gone along, we said, okay, we see that, and we have sort of good interactions with our users because we've always had a forum, obviously support requests and whatever. But one of the big things is that people who are successful typically tended to be people who found content that they were interested in and then imported it into LingQ, because we allow people to import anything into LingQ, and we can turn that into a lesson. And so what we found is that there's a percentage of people that are quite happy to go and find their own stuff and figure out how to get it and import it and all the rest. But there are a lot of people who won't. That's too much friction for them. So we've done a lot of things to try and make it easier, in browser extensions, ways that you can, pull in content from YouTube, from Netflix, from whatever it is, different sources. That effectively, whatever we can do to reduce friction from that process to enable people to find the content that's most of interest to them. And if the more we've been able to do that, the more, the stickiness of the product has obviously increased. In addition to that, we've done other things like, every time we've sort of tightened our free limits, we've increased our conversion rate.
That's awesome.
You start out and you think, oh, wow, we can have a relatively high limit. Everybody's going to get on our app and they're just going to fall in love with it and they're going to pay us and it's going to be great. But the reality is, I can't speak for other products. I can only speak for ours, but
I can speak for a lot of products, Mark.
Language learning, especially being sort of aspirational, it's like a gym membership. If the gym relied on the people that showed up every day as, for all their revenue, they couldn't make it. Like there are a lot of people that sign up for the gym and that lose interest after a while. And language learning is no different. Like a lot of people want to learn a language, but then to actually make that continuous effort, you just, not everyone's going to do that. So that if you have a high limit, people come on, they like it, they might use it for a day or two, but they disappear long before they hit the paywall,
Yeah.
then they're for sure not going to pay you. So at any rate, I think that's been a big factor. Like over time, realizing, you know, the tightening things up helps. And we've improved our product continuously, as I said. And I
Mark,
think
is this?
the last sort of thing that is that technology's kind of moved in our direction. So, you know,
Yeah.
from the mobile to now AI and you know, all the digital media that's available, it just makes our approach to learning that just that much more convenient. And really, that's what we are. We make it convenient. We don't do anything we're not building rocket ships over here, but we make that learning process using our methodology as convenient as yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Hey,
Good as possible.
the thing that I want to ask you about, was this always, because you said you had like a development firm, was this something that was just something that you guys were doing on the side of that firm, or?
I definitely started out that way, and
Okay.
then
When did
at
they
a certain
start?
point,
Yeah.
we said, okay, actually, we think we've got something here. Let's focus. Let's invest and but for quite a while now, it's obviously been a full-time
Yeah, for sure.
Thing for us.
Mark, one of the things I wanted to get into was the fact that you had a development firm and we have a marketing firm too. And, you know, frankly, it wasn't like I was always against it because I grew up in the Bay Area. So I thought I had to do a tech company, you know, like I had to build a product and not a service. But the audience told me this is what they wanted. And so I wasn't trying to be religious about how I made money and how I became an entrepreneur. So I just went all in on the agency side. And while I resisted at the very beginning, I love it now because I get to see so many products. I get to talk to so many founders and I could see like, you know, some of the mistakes that they might be making or just hear the stories that they want. How has having your own development firm helped you build Link into a product that people absolutely love and see real progress?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, we had we still do have a company that was building a specific product for forest products companies. So we weren't developing for other people. We had a specific use case of our own.
Oh,
And
okay.
then but we had developers, and so we set as a bit of a side project, we started the language app. And then, but I think, you know, the fact is we had a few different businesses going, and so I think we just had that mindset all along, that kind of that entrepreneurial mindset that, you know, here's something that looks like there's potential, and it partly a large part, like, was my dad's passion for languages, so he was quite excited about it, and I had lived in a few different countries, so you know, I had definitely had exposure to languages as well, and I think we just kind of thought there's big potential. Even then, the excitement about technology that seemed to be coming, and yeah, a bit of a just kind of go for it. This looks like an opportunity. Let's give it a try mentality.
Yeah. You know, I talk about this with other app founders because they're like, should I do a portfolio approach? Should I go all in on one app? And I'm kind of like of the mindset, Mark, that, you know, try out the portfolio approach till you find the one that you can go all in on and scale, because it's, you know, sort of reduces that risk. And as much as I like to think I'm an entrepreneur, I love risk, but I'm like, no, I'm deathly afraid of risk, you know?
Yeah, no question. I think there's all kinds of great ideas, but it's the details that matter in the end, and so. But you definitely want to invest your time in an area where your odds are better. So if you have an ability to look at a portfolio, or to kind of look around and try it, dabble in a few different things before making the call, and I mean, that definitely gives you the opportunity to compare and get a sense of which seems to be getting better traction and which seems to be getting less.
Yeah, I'm kind of that mindset because I've seen so many now that I'm 45. It's like I've seen so many industries just get broken up. Like obviously Blockbuster with Netflix. I mean, taxis with Uber, hotels with Airbnb. Like it's just like, yo, it's a scary world that we're living in, especially as an entrepreneur. You never know what's coming next. Like obviously going mobile becoming a big thing truly helped you guys, right? To really scale. And I don't think Facebook and Instagram would be as big as they are without the invention of mobile. And so I don't know. I sort of feel like, you kind of want to diversify. And we're luckily at a point where I'm like, okay, it's time to diversify everything because I don't know if one thing is going to fail in a couple of years.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I
Right?
think technology has kind of moved in our favor, but I think, as you say, there are lots of examples where technology has not gone the wrong way, and that's out of your control. Like you don't
Yeah.
have the ability to know what's coming next. So, I'd like you say to have some ability to protect yourself, but at the same time, I mean, if you're going to be successful, you kind of have to commit at some point,
Yes.
and because it takes effort and concentrated effort, and so it's a fine line, I guess.
Well, throughout the 25 years that you've been doing this, I'm just going to give you that. Okay. Mark, were,
Thanks.
were you always like, hey, I'm going to keep, like maybe once Link started really taking off, were you tempted to do anything else? Like try other projects?
Um, yeah, I think when we started out, I don't know that I didn't think about it, or I probably thought that I'll do this for a while and then we'll kind of do something else. The reality is that it's not like this the whole time we've been doing Link that I haven't been doing anything else. Like
Yeah.
we have done different things. We have a couple other like a few other ventures that we're involved in,
Nice.
unrelated to Link. Link takes up most of my time now, but not an insignificant percentage of my time is spent doing some of the other activities that we're doing, and probably that's a bit like what you suggested. Like it's especially when things weren't going as well in Link in the early days. Like, okay, we got to start exploring some other areas here, because this may not happen. We're going to stay with it while we still think there's potential, but
That's
definitely had other irons in the fire, and still do.
Look, you've been an entrepreneur for a very long time, and this is the longest job I've had, Mark. And doing this for been in
Mhm.
the app space since 2010, and then
Right.
doing this full time since 2014. I started the podcast in 2013. I'm just like, and I was one of those, Mark, when I was younger, that I would just leave jobs. Like if I wasn't growing, I was like, forget you, I'm leaving. Right?
Uh-huh.
Like it wasn't no offense to you, but I want to learn more. And so my 20s, I would stay at a company for a year, and then
Yeah.
if I plateaued from just a skill perspective, I would just leave and try to get more money. But anyways, the in terms of entrepreneurship, and I would love your insight on this, but I kind of think about it like what you said, right? Try a lot of things, find one that works, and then you have to focus to get it to scale. And I was doing a lot of things in my first year of being on my own, and I found one that people kept asking me for, help me with my app launch. So I went all in on the agency, and the agency did that for like a bunch of years. And now I'm at a good point where I'm like, okay, now let's go back to diversifying a bit and try out little different projects so that I'm not just reliant on one big pillar, while that one big pillar, just like you, Mark, takes up most of my time, but I'm like trying to sort of diversify. And so it's almost like this, like, diversify in the very beginning, scale, focus. And then now that it's big, diversify a little bit more, scale and focus. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I hadn't thought of it that way, but that kind of describes
What you're doing?
how I go about it too. So,
That's good.
yeah, as you say, like you kind of have to. You don't know what's coming next year and the year after that might. People always say to us, "Oh, isn't AI just going to make language learning obsolete?"
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I guess maybe. Our feeling is that, well, no, because in the end, there will still be that desire to communicate in that person's actual
Yes.
language. But I mean, we don't know what's coming, honestly. Like
Right.
maybe you'll just go to whatever Thailand and speak English, and the guy will be speaking Thai to you, and it'll be fine. And
Right.
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know. I mean, just speaking about AI, like, yes, it's helped out a lot of entrepreneurs like you and I, but it's also hurt a lot of people who are getting laid off now because of
For
AI. And
sure.
so it's an
Yeah.
advantage and a disadvantage to a lot of people out there.
Absolutely.
I love it,
Yeah.
Mark. All right. Well, Mark, I want to shift gears a little bit and get into some app audits, if you don't mind. And if there's anything I missed, we'll kind of cover it as we talk more about Link. But let's get into the app audit side of the show. And we like to start off every app audit with Mark, some dad jokes. All right, you said I didn't want to hear him, but you know what, Mark? You don't know me. I love hearing, and the worse, the worse the joke, the better for me. I just get a.
I don't know. These ones are pretty bad, but
You got some bad ones.
give it a try.
You want to go first, Mark, or do you want me to go first? And we are playing for something. So all you got to do to the audience out there, you just got to vote S for Steve, M for Mark, and then we'll give you a free promo on us. And then Mark, you and I don't know, maybe some coffee, a beer. We'll play for that, right? Winner gets that. Okay. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I can go. I'll start with one here.
Okay. Let's go.
As a Canadian, what do you call a Canadian who can't play hockey?
What?
A referee.
They say if you can't play it, you coach. Yeah. Anyways.
That's
Oh,
right.
we got Vivek. It's got a joke as well. Okay, I like that, Vivek. All right, Mark. Because we got a lot of programmers in our audience. Why did the computer programmer quit their job?
Why did they commute? Oh, why did they? Oh, why did they?
Yeah, they didn't get a raise. There you go. A raise. ARRAYS. You guys know what that is. All right. That is it. So put M if you thought Mark's joke was better, and then put S if you thought my joke was better. And then we're gonna feature this app first, Mark. So we got this app from David. Okay, well, David, we'll get into your app. Okay. I'm excited to look at your app, David. Okay. I think if I'm saying that right, but this person has a Mac app. It's one of our first Mac apps that we've ever done live. So this is the app, Stickies and Menu. Pretty interesting app. I have a Mac app. Mark, do you guys have Link on the Mac too as a Mac app?
We don't have Link as a Mac app, no.
Okay. Yeah, it's been hard to grow. I've been like, I don't know what to do, how to get traction for our Mac app. But anyways, he wants help with.
One of the things about a Mac app is that they want to take Apple wants their percentage of the Mac app fee too.
Oh, yeah,
which we've always found tough to swallow. So
yeah, you just hit a trigger. Okay, now everybody's complaining about it. Everybody that's listening to it right now, Mark. All right, he needs help on improving conversions. So let's take a look at the app. I've got the app installed. Sorry, let me remove all the clutter so that you guys get the Mac app by itself. Let me center this bad boy. I'm very picky about stuff, Mark. Not a lot of stuff, just certain things. Okay, getting started. So it would have been helpful, like in the very beginning. I don't know what you think, Mark, but to just remind me what the app does again, because it just said get started, right? Like what if I forgot? Like a lot of people, we see this in our numbers too. A lot of people download an app and just completely forget that they have the app. And I've obviously got the app installed on my computer now, but like, what if I forget? And so I know people are opening Quick Note, they should know, but just a reminder of like why it's cool. Some of the things that you might have already on your.
Yeah, that's 100% the interesting thing that we see too. The people that download the app and don't actually open it.
Yeah.
Or until quite a bit later, if at all.
Right.
So this situation where, what's this app? Open it.
Yeah. Like, what's Quick Note again? Oh, yeah. Just remind us why it's so cool. So click the icon in the menu. All right. So it's up here already. I like it. Cool. Groceries, office. Looks good. This looks good too. Yeah. Wow. Anything you want to say here, Mark, about the paywall, the Mac paywall?
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard to know. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of stuff there, but I get it. You're trying to get your features out there, and you've got some reviews to give you some social proof. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like it does a lot of things.
I think my suggestion, and this would just be a complete test, is I prefer to have 2 or 3 options, Mark. And we've seen this study with like some of our partners, Superwall, Revenue Cat, Adapty, they all say the same thing. Like having multiple plans increases conversions, because I'm looking at this and this is like a yes or no question. Whereas when you have multiple plans, you're like shifting the mindset psychology a little bit to a, which features do you like the most? And it's no longer a yes or no. It's just like what one comes. So I'm thinking like, hey, have one that is 99 for all the features and have one that is maybe $14.99 with iCloud sync, right? And they're like, oh, that's amazing. Okay, I want the iCloud sync, and then I want this basic one because I want the cheaper one. I never pay full price for any product. So that's what I would do for quick notes. I can't say your name, Katia, but that's what I would try to test first, because I think it looks pretty good, the paywall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have too much notes for them. Okay. Well, good luck, man. I like that it's hard paywall and I can't use it without, well, actually, I guess I can use it. Let's say new note. Yeah. Okay. I guess I can use it. New note. Cool. You just leave it there. That's awesome. Hey, I got it. Demo note. Nice. Whoops. I'm not sharing this with you guys. And then, like Mark said, Mark, you said that earlier. Hey, the more features you limit. So I don't know how much I get with the free plan, but I would try to get them to get locked up really fast.
Yeah. For sure. I think it's unclear there. I mean, you can obviously create some notes. I would assume that at a certain point, something's going to happen, and you're not going to be able to do that. I think.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Mark. I've got some good news and bad news, Mark. Actually, I only got good news and good news. Okay. The bad news is I didn't do very well on this day round. That's the bad news. The good news is you did.
Nice.
Hey, do you want to come in and we'll pick a winner? Where are you?
Yep, sure.
So what's the score, my friend?
The score is 6-2, and you know who's the winner.
Yeah, only John and Luis. Thank you, John and Luis. Everybody else, Seb, you trader. David, you trader. You know what, Dave? I don't know if I want to look at your app anymore. All right, H. You want to spin that wheel? Let's bring this to the stage. Oh yeah, go ahead. You control it.
Yo, let's spin the wheel.
Traders, I hate this. All right. I don't think David's won. So David, just email me, steve@appmasters.com, and then I'll hook you up with a free Indie App Santa promo or a 3 months free membership of our app founders community. That's a great community that we have, and we just met earlier today. And so welcome to that community. If you decide, you get to pick and choose which one you prefer, but just email me and I will send you all that. And I want to thank our sponsors for the show. We've got one that we're excited to, whoops, sorry, H, does not get out of here. One that we're excited about called Encore. H. Okay, got it. EncoreKit.com. We're actually implementing this in our new Comet. It's called Comet, but Indie App Santa app, where you can get people to unlock your deals, but they don't have to pay you. They can just sign up for another deal. So it's sort of an affiliate model. It's based off of like what we've seen well in e-commerce with Rocked. So we've had that founder on, and really cool. We're implementing this in our Indie App Santa app right now so that people can see other deals. And then Xsola, it's more for gaming, but if you want to build a web store really easy, I guess the easiest way to say it is like Shopify for gamers. So you can build a web store really quick within your game to increase those conversions. Because just like I said before, having more options not too many options, but some options help drive more conversions. All right, Mark, let's get back into Link. Like, was there anything that I missed that you wanted to cover with Link and talk about some of the new things that you're working on, or some of the new things you tested that's working well?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest new thing we're working on is and time will tell how effective it is, but the idea of a AI coach or learning companion or a co-pilot, because one of the issues with learning a language on your own is you have lots of questions. You may not be sure that what you're doing is right. Any number of things that in the past you might have, if you had a teacher that you could reach out to that could help explain things or could point you in the right direction, help you find new content. So we think there's a real potential role there for AI to do a lot of that stuff. And because, different from other language apps, which focus on a sort of a smaller amount of content, we kind of want to make it so that our users have access to all the content that's out there in the world. Therefore, we can't slice and dice it for them, but AI can. AI can help with translation, with grammar, with explanations. AI can help with our methodology. Like, it can do a lot of things, and it should be able to do them well. But it's that sort of integration with our product and our, the information that we have on the user that will take some work. But we're excited. So that's coming and should help.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, Seb also loves your product. He's like, I've been following Steve, Mark's dad, for years on YouTube and learned so much from him. And then Steve is very passionate. Both Steves, by the way, both Steves are very passionate about learning app marketing tactics. But the Steve Kaufmann very passionate about sharing ways to learn languages more efficiently. And the fact that he speaks 20 languages shows that his methodology really works.
Thanks, Seb. Yeah, that's great.
Great. He's a big fan of your app. Okay,
awesome.
Enough of you, Seb. Get out of here. All right, let's get into David's app. Although he didn't vote for me, let's bring it up. He's got a email assistant, Mark, and then David wants grow downloads and revenue. Best marketing strategy for my app to outbid competitors. It's still new. Thank you. All right, Mark, it's an Android app. You got any feedback for him based off of just growing downloads and revenues?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the App Store page listing. I mean, I thought the screenshots did a great job of explaining what it does, which is obviously important and clear, and it intrigued me. I just looked before coming on, but that if this were something I was interested in, I think I definitely would have installed it and taken a look.
I think one of the things I would start, David, is if you're we talked about this in our founders community, but custom store listings for Google, one person didn't see any good results, but I've always seen pretty good results when we've done it on our end. Like, not good results all the time, but sometimes like not ones that actually hurt our rankings. So test that out. You might want to go after like email assistant. I just think the category is a little bit low. I know there's Friday on the App Store, on the iOS App Store, that has grown quite popular. But I think from my experience, these have been really hard to convert. And so with Google, I would test out running some Google ads because you can get it pretty cheap. And given that you're in Nigeria, try out Nigeria first, because I think a lot of people tend to focus more on the US, where there's, obviously for the obvious reasons, but try out Nigeria and target that country and see what you can get done there to grow the downloads there, because you can probably get it a lot more affordably than you can in the US. And, I think that's the big thing for me in 2026 is targeting outside the US. Like, obviously we need to do it still, but like, if you're still early and you're not in the US, like, target those other countries. We've had a lot of clients and a lot of podcast guests that have done well in Brazil, Thailand, other countries, and that's been their primary market. Because you understand the market a little bit better too. All right, let's get into the app, Mark. Let's see what we can do from his onboarding stuff. All right. I'm gonna pick English. Okay, choose subject. Leave requests. How about apply for a job? That's what most people probably want to do right now. Professional and friendly, formal, persuasive, confident. Okay. Okay. I don't know, Mark. I'm not loving this onboarding, but I would love to hear your thoughts.
I mean, I'm trying to read it quickly as you're going through it. It's
Sorry.
not that large on
I know
my
it's tiny
screen here, but yeah, I
yeah.
somehow it feels like I was creating an email, but then I guess it's trying to get me to register so that I can actually complete that.
Well, I mean, David, I like the onboarding, but the email that you generated didn't feel like that impressive. I read through the email. Sorry for those who just couldn't see it, but I read through the email that you generated. It just wasn't that impressive to me. It was just like, hey, I'm interested in this job. You know, I wouldn't hire anybody if they sent me that email. Generally, I like to lead off with somebody that is, you know, like what, and I know this is a little bit harder, but I would lead off with like, hey, Steve, you know, I love your channel. Here's what I would do, and here's how I can help. Versus you gave me a very templated email, and you know, I would be asking like, hey, do you have an email that you need to write? Like, you know, generally people have, like, what's your situation like? Are you trying to respond to somebody and you want to respond politely versus negatively and all that stuff? And so I would try to improve that onboarding a bit, and then try to for that paywall, that 2-step paywall that we've shared in the past that we kind of took from Resumi. We've seen that work more when the plans are on yearly versus weekly. So we actually tested that for one of our AI apps, that 2-prong, and I'll show you guys an example of it right here. And David, you had it too. We didn't see it actually work better when we had these 2 pages for a 3-day plan and weekly. So you can test it on your end, but our AI app that kind of does some things similar to you, but not necessarily an email generator, we didn't see success. These 2 pages hurt our conversions. So that's the feedback that I would give. All right, Mark, anything else you want to add here?
Yeah, not really there. No.
Okay. Cool.
I think other than, you got to test. No question. Whatever it is you think might work, you've got to test it.
Yeah. Test, persist, all that stuff. All right. Let's see. We got some questions. Let's see if I can get to some of these questions. Ankil says, just now I checked the install patterns. On an average of 3,000 to 5,000 downloads a day is pouring in December 2025. Is it happening because of search installs or any other promotions? So Ankil, I don't know. One, I don't know your platform. And you can see on whether it's Google or iOS, you can see by source type. So on Google, it has its own nomenclature. I don't do much on Android, but you can look at it. You can see where the actual installs are coming from. Oh, he said that. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like it might be on iOS. I don't know, but that's how it would do it. And I think that's it. Considering question 2. All right, here we go. Considering the high competitions for learn English or learn any language, keyword ranking and noticeable range spots being difficult. What's your question? I don't even know what the question is. All right. I could be nicer, right, Mark? All right. Mark, anything else that I missed that you want to share before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think very much appreciated being on your show and
same.
Talking a little bit about and thinking about our journey, which I don't often spend time doing. Was fun. Yeah, we're having a sale now. You can see on the
I'm putting that up there
for sure. Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah,
and I do encourage any of you to who are interested in language learning and maybe haven't gotten the results that they would have liked. I have to say, a lot of the time, it's the approach that you're using. We think we think our approach works. So give it a whirl. Come check it out.
So does Seb, Mark. Okay, you're just not saying it too, but so does Seb as well. All right.
Yeah, right.
Well, I do want to answer Ankil's last question. He said, hey, Steve, I think he means like, if I were launching a language learning app, like use what Mark said, they just had learn English in the very beginning. I might go into a less competitive language I've worked with other app founders who have like, I would say the not so popular languages, and, you know, having a portfolio approach of targeting that is interesting. So there's a lot of ways you can cut it, but yeah, start with one that you know the best and then try that first. That's what I would say. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. There's a lot of competition, right? For even less popular languages. And so we don't rely on organic traffic from the app stores to get our downloads. We're driving a lot of those downloads ourselves, you know, whether through the YouTube channel or through other channels. Yeah, sure, we're trying to optimize for the app stores as well, but yeah, as Steve says, try to find less popular languages, different keywords that might go together. But if you're going after learn English, that's that's a lot of competition.
Learn Spanish, learn English.
Exactly.
Mark, what? Yeah, besides YouTube's, what other marketing channels are working for you?
We do have blogs that do okay. We still on YouTube do collaborations and sponsorships of other YouTubers and that kind of thing, which also is tends to be good for us. And then, I mean, we're on social, on Instagram and TikTok, but not as impactful as the things that we do on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, your dad channel is just taking off. I have like these little plugins too. I can see the growth in like 7 days. It's been insane too. So congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, to the audience, go check out Link. It is in the show notes as well. And if you go on the website, you can get 50% off their plans. I'm showing it off right now. You sign up, looks at, loves it. I'm going to be trying to learn from it as well. So go check it out as well. And then next week, I will tell you guys what we got coming up. Oh, we actually don't have anything. So it might be a solo episode. We'll figure it out. We'll have an amazing episode every Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific. Mark, thank you so much for coming on and doing this.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Thanks very much for having me. Very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here. I learned a lot. Mark, this is like my therapy session. So that's how I treat it. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. We're back. Happy New Year. All right, I'll see you. Bye.